Thank you for being here today as we, approach International Women's Day and, the celebration of achievements of women, the empowerment of women. What does this day mean to you?
I think overall, it's just a great day to celebrate women across various industries and look at the achievements and the progress that we've made.
I love this day because I believe that sometimes some women don't really see their accomplishments as being big, and in other eyes, they're huge.
Take a step back, remember, I am capable, I am successful, and all those little doubts in my ears, they're kind of tuned out for that day, and it's kind of a refresher.
When I first started, it was more a male-dominated sport, so it's really nice to see all these women getting these big roles, VP, coaching jobs, and it's really exciting because my ambitions are to be that one day.
We've come a long way as women, but it's also a time to reflect on how we can still progress.
It's really important for us to, create change for our future generations and instill confidence in the younger generation, lead by example, and just, really push for equality.
Especially Black women not only have to face barriers because of their gender, but also because of the color of their skin.
Yeah, to reflect on where women were, where we are now, and where we can go in the future.
Of course, a day to highlight and celebrate achievements of women, but also to break the bias, to raise awareness about women's equality and gender parity.
International Women's Day to me is a day to reflect on and to celebrate the women who not only did it before us, but for us doing it now. And that the world needs us. I think it's so important to be your own hype woman. It's not easy navigating a world where women still need to speak a little bit louder to be heard. So to me, it's a day that amplifies that women are awesome and that we deserve to be in positions that showcase our awesomeness and our abilities, for the strength that we carry and that we bravely approach a lot of things we do and desire with love. Do you think about being a woman in sports within your daily business doings? How present is the fact that you are a woman contributing to changing the landscape of the sports industry every day?
I mean, I grew up with a father working in the NHL my whole life. So this is really cool to see the way things have changed. I mean, I'm in my 30s now, and when I was 6 years old, there were no women around in sport.
Yeah.
And so to see it now and to the pride level that I have on it is incredible. And I just love it. And, I can't help but to squeeze it in when you're talking to someone new, I work in sports. It's such a proud thing to speak about.
It's definitely been a blessing working and having the CEBL to have that platform to go into these meetings and their first reaction not to be, oh, really? That's what you do? And so sometimes you get that sometimes where it's their first reaction is surprise, but I sort of try and educate them and change their mindset.
My office at the Honey Badgers is really open. I mean, we're all think of each other as equal. So being a woman isn't really a huge factor. But when I tell people what I do, I work in sport, I work in professional sport, it's always a shock to them that I am a woman in sport and that I have such a big role in my team.
Yeah, I think about it often. I take a lot of pride in being a woman in sports, as I'm sure you do as well. And it's something where you feel like you're the underdog, so you feel like you want to work harder, you want to really prove yourself, and you really want to show that, we have a place in the sports industry, which I believe we do. I think every team that has a woman in the office has a secret weapon, so.
I'd like to say I don't think about it maybe in terms of my colleagues. I think I think about it more in terms of my outreach. So I'm in a sales role. And so this actually goes to show how many of my equivalents when I'm calling a different business are in that same level. So when I'm calling other businesses, most of the time I'm connecting with a man who owns that business or runs that business. So I don't think of it so much in our internal landscape, but more external when I'm on the phone.
You talk about going into the office. How does it make you feel walking into a boardroom or a practice court or an arena as a woman in professional sports these days?
Now I definitely, at first it was a little timid. I would kind of try and fade to the background and not bring too much attention to myself. Whereas now, I have no problem being that girl standing on court side in a full leopard dress, doing my social media journey.
Yes.
I fully believe that I'm going to be myself.
I've been with the Riverlines for 6 years now. So now I'm way more comfortable than I was 6 years ago. And a lot of that is because I've felt empowered and I've felt trusted in my role.
I was so nervous. My first day, like I went to one of the my first game was, I think, Hamilton versus Guelph last year. And I was really nervous, and obviously everyone was super welcoming and whatnot. But even I remember having like Maria there, having her there to help facilitate things and just being so open and so helpful and whatnot really calmed my nerves. And it actually honestly inspired me to go into communications.
Not that I don't see, I haven't seen a need in the past, because I like know that I'm equal and I know that women are equal. So it's just about kind of having that attitude and going into your day with that attitude and not thinking like I'm a man, I'm a woman, just I'm Maria and I'm gonna, have a voice and you can listen to it or not, but that's my opinion and it's what I think.
When I'm in the arena, when I'm, in the office, when I interact with the team, it's not something that's on my mind necessarily. I'm really happy that I don't have to think about that. But at the same time, if I take the time to stop and think about it, I'm definitely really proud.
We do things differently, we think differently, so it's kind of a way to bring diversity in the way that we work, right? So I don't really see it as intimidating, or I don't see it as a threat, but more as a way to show that there's so many other visions and ways to see things.
And so how does it feel to be a part, of a league that is such a young league contributing to change in Canadian basketball?
Like, we always have done a great job in terms of the women in our league and the different roles that they play, and they drive me to be a better person as well. But we could definitely do with more coaches, right? More on the basketball operations side, because I think business, there are a lot of women in roles in the league, but I think the coaching staff, the training staff, we can definitely do more in that area.
Sure, the CEBL is a first in Canadian basketball, I would say. Every year it keeps getting better and better, it keeps getting bigger. We're international now that we are competing in the BCLAs.
When I think about the CEBL, I think about family. We're all working together towards the same goal of, building the game of basketball in this country.
Basketball is becoming Canada's game. It is Canada's game. And I think we saw that obviously with the Raptors championship and just the growth of basketball in Canada with the number of people playing and the number of athletes playing on even like NCAA teams. Like
within our team alone, actually last year, we're a very small office, but we did have females outnumbering males at one point because we had interns in, and that changes. It's not the case this year, a little bit more male energy, but definitely changing in the sport landscape.
Like, we're building up this beautiful program organization, and for the next interns to come, like, we've already established such a beautiful and strong foundation. So I just feel super, super, humbled that I have this chance to be a part of this amazing thing we got going on. So yeah, I'm super excited to see what's going to happen. We're only the beginning and it's amazing already. So yeah, love it.
This league gave me the opportunity to grow as a professional, but also as a human being. And I met incredible people who became, mentors and friends, and I get to work with them every day, which is very awesome. And I'm, very thankful for that. And definitely very, very excited to see the growth of this league in the country.
We are growing and it's amazing. We've expanded and we are expanding. But it's nice to be able to kind of get a feel for all the different jobs. So you can do sales, you can be in sponsorship, you can help do game day, community engagement. You're able to do all those things, which gives you like an abundance of experience rather than when you're in like a massive company, you're really stuck to that one role. So it's nice to be able to get experience in all of the departments, which is really great.
Well, I'm privileged, working for the CEBL it really is an honor and a privilege. To be working for an organization that is visionary, open-minded, that allows people to grow regardless of the gender. And this is what I want people to see. Thank you to to the extraordinary women who paved the way, but also thank you to the men who were strong enough to open some doors. So, yeah.
Yes, it's yep. I love that. Sorry, you just had me thinking there again. Yeah.
I never went into the sports industry, thinking, okay, Kat, here you go. You're about to be a woman in sports. I only started thinking about it when someone said, you're a woman in sports, and that can be difficult and that can be lonely. So I don't know. Now I wonder if the fear I felt sometimes in the space was actually brought on by those conversations, or if I was truly there to begin with. But if we weren't having these conversations, then we wouldn't see how it truly was, and we couldn't work on shifting the way we hope things are in the future. So I am glad that those conversations were had.
I'd love to ask if there's anything else you'd like to say, whether there's words of encouragement or, stories that maybe were game-changing moments for you.
For words of encouragement, just like I said, just like apply. Like, don't ever think that you're not going to get the position because you're a woman.
Being yourself just in general. I mean, now more than ever, with the exposure of social media and things like that, people are finally getting to find themselves and be exactly who they are. And, I've done interviews in the past for sports jobs where it was, dull yourself down. Don't be the big bright haired girl with the jewelry on, dull yourself down. And it's, I came into the Stingers job being myself. And I'm so glad I did, because I haven't changed, and that's exactly who I am, and nobody's questioned me for it. I think if anything, my office loves me for it. And that's the reason we need these kinds of days and the pump up from woman to woman.
If I were to, listen to a podcast like this, I would really want to, take in the fact that regardless of your gender, look out to look at the people that were in your position, and see how far they've gone, and know that you're just as capable. You just have to keep your head up and, push through, and you'll make it.
I think, as a woman working in sports, I always I want to see other women succeed. And I hold a soft spot in my heart every time I see, an internship apply, or someone apply for an internship or a volunteer game day position. So just for anyone out there listening who's looking to get their foot in the door, we're here. We're always willing to be a helping hand, to be a resource, to ask questions.
Shout out my colleagues in the league and all the women that I work with, because I really do. And I know I said this, but they make me a better person. They make me a better employee. And it goes back to my first point that we don't often take the chance to tell that to each other. So that's kind of just my shout out to all of them.
Or is helping uplift other women and helping uplift the next generation and paving the way so the next generation doesn't have to experience the same hardships that maybe the previous generation experienced.
Volunteer, get as much experience as possible, go to as many networking events, talk to as many people as you can, just to get more experience. And I think that will definitely help, whether it's someone a woman going into sport, or even just in any industry.
Well, you know what? I know it's cliche, but where there's a will, there's a way. And again, you be the best that you can be and do the best that you can do, and anything can happen. You're allowed to dream.